Good morning, afternoon, and evening, guys. We are back with another random tier list, and today we're going to be back into the World of Warcraft, tackling the World of Warcraft expansions. Now, World of Warcraft is a multiplayer, uh, massive online role-playing game that's been around for over a decade at this point, since 2004. Right, so going on 2 decades. And since the game has been out, every 2 or 3 years, they add new stuff and change up the kind of setting of max level characters. They add new levels and things like that. And that's called an expansion. So we're going to go ahead and be ranking them. Now, spoiler alert, none of these expansions are going to be F tier. That's why I don't have an F tier. Even though some of these expansions have been pretty bad, I think all of them at least have some redeeming qualities. And this is, of course, based on my own interpretation and opinion, not necessarily based on how well they did commercially or anything like that. Now, to start off with, we have the base vanilla World of Warcraft. I think the base vanilla World of Warcraft is a B tier game, at least by current standards that we're used to. There's definitely a lot of stuff going for it. And when World of Warcraft Classic was released, which is a copy and paste version of, well, not copy and paste, an upgraded version, but a copy and paste version of the 2004 game, a lot of people played it. In fact, it was almost as popular as retail as the normal version. I think a lot of that has to do with nostalgia, but it does show you that the game is really, really good overall. So I'm going to put that in B tier, definitely an above average game. I think Burning Crusade only improved what World of Warcraft did to begin with. So I'm putting that in A tier here. I think Burning Crusade improved almost everything, not everything, but the addition of flying mounts, the addition of the new zones of Outland. I think all of that really just added to the world. Lots of new storylines being developed, and mostly really good raids too. The, the what is it called? The one where you're going back and Battle for Mount Hyjal. I had to Google it, guys. Sorry. The Battle for Mount Hyjal in World of Warcraft Burning Crusade was not a very good raid. Took a long time, but other than that, I think the raids were pretty solid, especially the Eye and Sunwell Plateau. Next, we have the second expansion, Wrath of the Lich King. This is the expansion where I started to really, really play World of Warcraft. I'd played since Classic, but Wrath was when I really started to dive into it. So with that in mind, this is probably a nostalgia pick, but I am going to go ahead and put it there. Next, we have World of Warcraft Cataclysm, and part of me does want to put it here in B tier because I think certain things from Cata have aged well with time. But there's also certain things that really haven't. The fact that there was so much cut content in Cataclysm, and they did a lot of amazing things by redoing a lot of parts of the world. But now it's actually been longer since Cata came out than we had the world before that. So this Cataclysm world is actually older than. I'm going to put it in B tier because I feel like a lot of people complain about Cataclysm, and it did have a lot of problems, especially back when it came out. The dungeons were way over leveled. There's a lot of things that are very difficult. People are trying to level. But now that you play through and you level through the zones, I think we underestimate how important that is, how good the leveling in World of Warcraft Cataclysm was in terms of just like going to Desolus. They totally improved the quests that were in that zone. And there's a million zones I could say that for. Badlands, I think, got a lot better as well. Just to name one more. So I'm going to put Cataclysm in B tier. It was definitely a big step down from Wrath of the Lich King, but it has grown on me over the years. Then we have Mists of Pandaria. Now, I have a personal vendetta with Mists of Pandaria that I just don't like its aesthetic very much. I don't like the Zen, tranquil, hidden in the mist type aesthetic that they had going on for most of the expansion. It really felt to me like for most of the expansion, what we were doing didn't matter. It didn't really have anything to do with demons or Deathwing, the enemies that we had been fighting previously. Though it didn't eventually come around with Garrosh being revealed as the old god, or as being revealed as being controlled by the old god in the end. So I actually like Cataclysm better than Mists. But I know Mists also added a lot of really good stuff. Like Ashran was a... Wait, was Ashran this or was Ashran... Ashran was... what am I talking about? Ashran was Warlords of Draenor. Mists added Timeless Isle, which was an amazing zone. Really a Timeless Isle was really like an example of how they should do all zones, all endgame zones. Warlords of Draenor sucks, doesn't it? Yeah, so much cut content. Some really good ideas. The Garrison was a good idea. This it is going to be here in C tier. It's going to be here. C is average. I think that's what Warlords of Draenor was. It had some really good points. There was some good parts of the Garrison's leveling was actually really really good. I've just done it a lot, so now I don't like leveling through there. But there was so much cut content in this expansion. I feel like this expansion could have been so much better if they didn't rush it. So I think this continued the trend of expansions going downhill all the way until we get to Legion, which Legion I think is a fantastic, fantastic expansion. Um, Clearly my favorite one of recent memory. That's a little bit of a spoiler, I guess. But yeah, I think Legion is fantastic. The notion of getting artifact weapons, leveling them up, the artifact power system did not go very well. Or it felt very grindy at some point, I should say. It's not that it didn't go well. But there was just so much lore, so many huge lore moments in this expansion, so many cool. I mean, you had the entire Suramar city stuff. I should have written this down. I'm doing this off the top of my head. You had you had Argus, which was an entire thing by itself. Uh, you had just so many different things going on, and they did so many of them very very well. So Legion, in my opinion, is an S tier expansion. Battle for Azeroth is a D tier expansion. There's a lot of things in this expansion I did not like, as did a lot of people. Azerites was one thing I didn't like. I hated. There were so many zones that were so annoying when you didn't have flying, much more so than Legion, Warlords, or Mists. There was just zones that not being able to fly was just an impediment to your sanity. And both on Horde and Alliance. So, I mean, that was a big thing. The leveling, the storylines weren't bad, but there was times where it felt very nuanced. It was like storyline. Okay, I don't care about the storyline. More so than I found myself in other expansions feeling that way. As well, you had the Azerite issues. You had the dungeons and raids generally. I mean, some of them were good, but some of them weren't. It's going to be D tier for me. Shadowlands, I actually really, really love the aesthetic of. Um, but I've actually stopped playing at this point, and I just keep hearing bad things about it. I'm going to go ahead and put it in C tier. I am going to put it over Warlords of Draenor, though, because there is some stuff that this expansion has done very, very well. I feel like Torghast is a very good addition, as I love the storyline in terms of we're learning more. But on some levels, it does feel like the storyline is just coming out of nowhere. They're just kind of pulling it out of a hat. Because a lot of it has not really been referenced before. Some of it has been, but some of it hasn't been too. So while I do like it, I understand a lot of the criticisms that are coming of it, and I am looking forward to more of this expansion coming out to judge it, again, and hopefully, I mean, we get up into a B tier. I don't know if it can get much higher than that, but it can definitely get higher than where it's at right now. So, yeah, those are the expansions, guys, for World of Warcraft. If you're into World of Warcraft, what do you think? Do you agree with me? Disagree? If you do like videos like this, make sure you leave a comment down below letting me know. You can also leave a comment suggesting other videos or put a like on the video. Both of those things help out the channel a lot. And also subscribe if you are not subscribed, because you don't want to miss tomorrow's tier list, because there is one every single day at noon Pacific. I haven't missed a day in months, and we're going to try to keep that ball rolling. So with that, guys, hope to see you down in the comment section. This has been the guy who makes random tier lists, signing